What does holistic mean to you? I find this question so incredibly interesting. I try to remember to ask it as often as I can on the podcast to my guests. And I have some answers from some people, but I don't always remember to ask them. And what I did this year at Super Zoo, so we can talk a little bit about what Super Zoo is in a minute, but I asked just about everybody I came into contact with what holistic means to them. And the reason I did this is because we all kind of have a little bit of a different view, a little bit of a different idea of what holistic means to us. I was actually pretty surprised that there was a common thread amongst almost everybody. A couple of them stood out, but there was kind of a common thread. And I wanted to put this together. First, let me say if there are any issues with the audio, we were on a very loud trade show floor, so I apologize for that. I promise it is worth it to listen through all of everybody who answered this question. And I just want to say that I am so grateful for the community, for the healthy pet community, which, by the way, Lauren with Girls Gone Raw, she calls it crunchy. So I think that's what we're going to do from here on out is that I'm going to try my best to remember to call it the crunchy pet community because I love that so much. But to me, I think integrative is the best approach. But even to be integrative, we have to have a good understanding of what holistic means because we're pulling holistic in to allopathic and kind of combining them in really cool ways. Dr. Katie Kangas being one of the most amazing vets I know, really doing incredible integrative work. But I want to present to you a bunch of people, not everybody. I didn't get around to everybody. I wish I had gotten more, but it is what it is. And what holistic means to them. And then at the end, I have something a little interesting to tell you. So before I jump in, I want to say thank you to Legacy Biome for sponsoring this podcast, and I want to tell you a little bit about them. Alrighty, pet parents, you already know that I talk all the time about needing to stop as much as we possibly can feeding our fur babies garbage. For lack of a better word, that's what we talk about here a lot. And again, doing the best we can, that is the message above any and everything else. The more we learn, the more we know we need to make some changes. And this episode is powered by Legacy Biome. This is no BS. And this is why I think you need Legacy Biome. So Legacy Biome offers premium. When I say premium, I mean premium FMT, fecal microbiota transplant capsules. These are products for your dog designed to restore and support a healthy gut microbiome. Yes, you heard me. Top tier microbiome therapy straight from nature's playbook. Gut health isn't optional. We talk about this all the time. It's not optional. It drives digestion, immune strength, allergy resistance, mood, and even chronic disease risk. So if your pet's gut is out of whack, their whole system is out of whack. If you've learned nothing from me thus far, I think you should know that. So Legacy Biome tells us that their donor animals live on a raw, organic diet in pristine, chemical-free environments, generations bred to preserve a rugged and unaltered microbiome. No antibiotics, no pesticides, no synthetic crap, ever. And they screen those donors with the strictest protocols in the industry. Kim's over here next to me, if you can hear her. So if you have a pet that is wrestling with chronic diarrhea, itchy skin, hair loss, allergies, rebounding from antibiotics, that's a thing too. Legacy Biome is your weapon. Heck, you can just use it proactively to build a bulletproof gut and immune health. So don't worry, vets handle this. FMT is administered rectally often through veterinarians' offices, but we don't always have access to that. So what's the next best thing? FMT capsules that are enteric coated that you can get delivered straight to your home from the most pristine donor dogs ever, from Dr. Margot Roman, as a matter of fact. So top integrative vets across North America swear by Legacy Biome. That's not hype. That's physician grade endorsements. If you're ready to stop the gut wreck and start the comeback with your dog, head to legacybiome.com. That is legacybiome.com, legacybiome.com, and get some for your pet. And by the way, let me know how it goes. You know me. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm here to talk to you all the time. I want to know. Let me know about it. To try Legacy Biome for your dog, visit legacybiome.com and use code TPPR10. That's TPPR10 for 10% off.
Hi, I'm Jamie Smith. I am the CEO and co-founder of Innovative Pet Lab. And what holistic means to me is looking at the whole pet and the whole person, figuring out the root cause, and guiding courses of treatment.
Hey, this is Nicole with Small Batch. What is the definition of holistic to me? I think holistic means really considering mind, body, and spirit of the being at hand. If that is human or animal, how do we consider the needs of each of those major facets of their existence and make decisions from their point of view? Are we really considering the needs of that species? Are we looking at the individual's genetics? How do we combine nourishing mind with proper enrichment activities, exposure to new environments? How do we look at nourishing the body? It is giving a species appropriate food. It is healing from the inside out. And spiritually, how do we interface with all of the creatures on the planet? Our companion pets are the ones we spend the most time with, but as a brand, Small Batch puts so much care and concern into supporting farms that raise livestock with the most reverence for the animals they raise, being considerate of all of the pieces of the puzzle when it comes to balance energetically on the planet, right? Everything and everyone is interconnected, so are all of our systems. Can we take a little bit from each side of the coin, each side of the spectrum, combine Eastern with Western, forward thinking with traditional? It's being open to finding a little bit of everything for each individual creature to best serve their needs.
Hi, my name is Rita Hogan. I am a clinical canine herbalist, and holistic means to me really coming together to treat the whole body with a resonance and frequency that improves every cellular structure in the body. And I think the baseline is demanding better, being better than the status quo, making products and giving information that provides a basis for individuality as well as full body support.
Okay, so ladies, what does holistic mean to you?
Well, hi, I'm Carissa with Coco Therapy. I'm Carmina with Coco Therapy. Holistic to me means looking at the dog whole, totally. So you just don't look at one issue, like the ear or why they're itching. You see their diet, you see their lifestyle. So you kind of look at the dog as a whole. And for me, it means happy, long life, because you're just not just addressing their health, their food. You're looking at their well-being, their mental state, their emotional state, their stress level, and to me it means trying to give them the happiest, longest life you possibly can.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jeff DeRay, and I'm co-owner of Pug and Hound Pet Apothecary, a holistically minded pet store in Geneva, Illinois. And what holistic means to me is whole food. Very simple. Whole food is the way to go. So start there, and everything else will fall in line.
Hi, I am Maria Ringo. I'm the co-owner of Carnivore. Carnivore is a wonderful pet food for dogs and cats. What does holistic mean to me? When I think of the word holistic, I think of how it is so overused now on anything and everything. But honestly, what holistic is a basic being, simple and natural and complete in the body. I wonder if that makes any sense, but that's what I think of when I think of holistic. It's so overused, and it's such a commercialized word now that when I think of holistic, I think, oh, these people that don't tell the truth on their packaging. But what it really is a consideration of the wholeness and the oneness of everything. And that's not so easy to explain. But if you get it, you get it. It's a respect for the whole. So we pull it all together. When we are being holistic, when we are thinking of something holistically, we're trying to pull it all together, consider all the parts, all the corners. That's what it actually means to me.
Hi, my name is Billy Hookman. I am the Vice President of Nutrition and Communication for Green Juju. And holistic to me is finding the baseline of health before you potentially need supplementation or medication. So we should be able to find a good health baseline with food-based items, and then if we need medicine or we need supplements later, then we move in that direction. But I don't think you can find that baseline or start to improve health until you start with food and then move to that eventually. So.
Hi, I'm Janine from Project Suds, and what does holistic mean to me? When I think of holistic, I think of more about a whole embodiment of holistic instead of just about what we eat, and I'm very particular about what I eat and what I feed my dog, but I also think about the environment and what we put on our bodies and what we clean our house with. To me, it's all encompassing about not only our food, but everything we use.
Hi, I'm Melissa from Four Legger, and I've been asked to give what the word holistic means to me. And I would say my answer comes from my background in occupational therapy, where we're a very holistic oriented therapeutic rehab part of the therapy areas for humans. And so to me, holistic means that you consider the entire being, and that you can't just separate out, for instance, with people, their work life from their self-care life, from their leisure life. It's all part of who they are. And if one has a breakdown, then they all have a breakdown, either indirectly or possibly directly too. So with our animals, the same is true. So that if a dog has a gut problem, then they probably have a skin problem too. And it's important to try to get both of them resolved so that your dog is as healthy as they can be as a complete being, not just as a part of whatever happens to be sick with them at the time. So very important to make that distinction between our animals, just because I think we've gotten too much focused on treating symptoms and not really focusing on what the entire problem is and trying to address it from the underlying factor that's causing it in the first place. So there's my answer to holistic, and I hope that's helpful. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Besant. I've been a veterinarian for, 37 years now. I've treated tens of thousands of veterinary patients, and the question for me is, what does holistic mean to me? Holistic means to me at its root is looking at the whole animal, and that everything is interconnected. So if you have a particular issue, should you be changing their food? Should you be adding herbs? Should you be talking about lifestyle? Should you be, changing something in their life that's predisposing them to whatever's going on with them? And so a holistic approach is looking at the whole animal and understanding how things are all interrelated, and fixing one just fixing the problem might not be the root of it, that you need to fix the problem, but you also need to fix the reason why that problem would occur. And that makes it much more expansive, much more detailed than just the idea that holistic is good and that holistic is high quality, kind of nuancey or new agey. it's not about that at all. It's really about looking at the entire system.
My name is Krista Fox. I am a holistic vet tech. I own Pug and Hound Pet Apothecary. And holistic to me means addressing the whole animal and looking at things as a whole. So instead of looking at, one body system or the other, holistic to me is looking at the animal from a larger frame of view and addressing everything as a whole.
Hi, I'm Dr. Odette Suter. I'm a holistic veterinarian, and I was asked to answer the question what holistic means to me. Holistic, basically the word itself means whole, means everything. So to me, holistic is really using everything that we have available. Obviously, as much as possible, more natural things would be ideal, but it doesn't really exclude conventional medicine, conventional tools, because they are part of that too, and sometimes animals do need that for their quality of life, basically. If they're in a lot of pain or if they need surgery or whatever they need, sometimes we need to use that. So holistic does not exclude conventional medicine in my view, but certainly holistic also to me means really addressing the root cause, the foundation of things, and not just taking the one pill for an ill and converting that to one supplement for an ill approach, because that's the same thinking. So holistic also means thinking in a way where you're basically looking at the body and how you can improve the function, because anytime there's a symptom, it means something is not functioning quite the way it should. And so restoring that function then takes care of the symptom. So for me, holistic is really figuring out and asking the right questions. So what's happening first? Why is it happening? And then we can ask, how do we fix it? So holistic is really about, it's a bit of a mindset. It's a bit of a approach to really understand what's going on that is causing the symptoms, because symptoms are really just kind of the body's red light that comes on, like in your car, your check engine light. So there's nothing wrong with the check engine light, right? You have to figure out what's going on, what's wrong underneath. So that's basically what holistic medicine means to me, is to really figure out what is going on, why is it happening, and then ask how we can fix it.
Yay! Hi, I'm Joni Camlin, and I work with Real Mushrooms. And what does holistic mean to me? Holistic is all about going back to nature, going back to referring to traditional ways that we've always done things, taking into account energy, and taking into account what is whether it's the pet in front of us, the human in front of us, working with ourselves, what's going to be best for us, and what's the least invasive way to find our way back to health.
Hey, this is Amy from Goodness Gracious here with Jessica. Woohoo! Yes. And so, what holistic means to me? To me, it means reminding the body what we're supposed to be doing, right? To find out a healing pathway forward.
Hi, I'm Sean Zier, and I'm the founder of Earth Buddy. And what holistic means to me is addressing the whole system. And that system, to me, means your community, your lifestyle, your relationships, what you put in your mouth, your gratitude, all the different things in your life is addressing a holistic lifestyle. And it's not just food and supplements. Although we love those, I think it's addressing the whole thing and not just relying on one modality or thing, and having an open mind. So that's what holistic means to me.
I'm Kelly Marion. I am the owner of Green Juju. And to me, holistic means the whole picture of health. So it means what we're eating, the stress in their environment, the toxins in their environment, what materials we have around. A lot of things about the environment. And it means when something goes wrong, not looking at treating the symptoms, but treating the root. And where did that come from, and how can we fix that from all the different angles?
Hi, Susan Recker with Animal Diet Formulator, and what holistic means to me is taking into account all of the factors and using all of the tools that are available. And that's going to be a different approach for every patient because every patient has different needs and different circumstances. So holistic to me means maintaining an open mind and being open to learning and trying new things and evaluating the patient in front of me with all its own special circumstances. And not just the patient, but the pet parent that comes along with that patient, because that's a big part of the picture as well.
Hi, I'm Jay.
I'm Adrian.
And together we are
Two Crazy
Crazy Cat Ladies. We also don't scissor all the time.
Don't say that.
Okay.
This is
She can edit. She can edit.
You'll edit, right? What does holistic mean to us? I think of holistic with like WH, holistic. Holistic means looking at everything from a bigger perspective.
Inside out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so holistic is like unfortunately, it's like a buzzword, right? Like it's something that like people think is woo-woo, but it's actually like, how about we look at the entire animal? How about we look at their environment, their whole health, their diet, everything.
Their enrichment.
How about we look at all of this and we put it together, and that is what we treat. That's what holistic
Well, that's what we address.
is.
Yeah, holistic, big picture.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody kind of, almost everybody, had a very similar idea, a very similar thread through everything. For me, holistic means taking into account the whole being, but not just the whole being, the whole of life. So the environment, energy, the whole of the planet. So we can actually take into account, that cattle, that beef that we're feeding, or that duck that we're feeding, or whatever it is, how was it raised as well? That matters so much because of the impact that we have on the planet, but not just the impact that we have on the planet, but also that life force that we are feeding our pets, that we are feeding ourselves, right? When we think about us and being more holistic, and the energy of that, not just like temperature or Chinese medicine energy, but like the energy, the vibrational energy that we are putting in our bodies, that we're putting in our pets' bodies. And so the whole, looking at the whole, WHOLE, that's what holistic means to me. One of the things that Jessica, who is the practice manager at Integrative Vet Care, which is Dr. Katie Kangas's practice, said to me was, it would be really cool if you could get to some of these people that we don't normally talk to, Purina, Hills, whoever, and ask them what they think holistic means. And I found that to be so interesting. I didn't have time to do that at Super Zoo this year. I just literally, the show ends and you're not allowed to be on the floor anymore. But what I did find online, I couldn't find Hills having anything about holistic in a Google search, but I did find Purina. Purina.com/articles/dog/health/nutrition/holistic versus natural dog food. So this is a blog that they have, and it says the terms natural and holistic get used a lot in both the human and pet food industries. Most people, however, aren't familiar with the differences between holistic and natural dog food. So they're kind of saying that these terms, which are not very clearly defined. If you go back to an episode that I did not too terribly long ago with Isabel, we did some weekly pet roundups on some of the misleading claims in pet food and what is actually defined and what is not, and holistic and natural or not. or not. But they're not regulated equally. So natural is defined as existing in or caused by nature, not made or caused by humankind. Therefore, a natural dog food implies that the products within are derived from nature and not manufactured by humans. However, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, does not have a legal definition for natural, human, or pet products. However, AFCO does have a more specific definition as it relates to pet food. A feed or ingredient derived solely from plant, animal, or mine sources, either in its unprocessed state or having been subject to physical processing, heat processing, rendering, purification, extraction, hydrolysis, enzymolysis, or fermentation, but not having been produced or subjected to a chemically synthetic process and not containing any additives or processing aids that are chemically synthetic, except in amounts as might occur unavoidably in good manufacturing practices. So per AFCO's guidelines, according to this Purina blog, natural dog food products can include synthetic sources or essential amino acids, vitamins, or minerals. That's not how I would want it to be, but that is unfortunately kind of how pet food is. It's kind of up for how do you understand it, and a company as big as Purina is absolutely going to get away with whatever they want. What is holistic dog food? Again, according to this Purina blog, holistic is defined generally as characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicably. Let me start that over. My goodness. Holistic is defined generally as, quote, characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole, end quote. Oh boy, that's a legalese way of saying looking at the whole. The medical definition is, quote, characterized by the treatment of the whole person, taking into account mental and social factors rather than just the symptom of a disease. Not too shabby, Purina. Holistic, continuing on the blog, holistic sounds like a good thing, but it's meaningless when it comes to dog food. There's no legal definition for holistic dog food. It's also not regulated by the FDA, AFCO, or the USDA, which regulates organic products. In the pet food industry, holistic is a marketing term used to imply whole body health. Since there's no legal definition of the term, it's used freely without any regulation or oversight. If a dog food label claims it's both natural and holistic, only the word natural has any meaning. So, it's a pretty short blog that Purina has out, but I actually like the content that's in it. They're just giving the facts. Though they are saying that natural can have as much synthetics as they want to put in it. But that actually is true based on the AFCO definition, that it can. So AFCO says is if it's unavoidable in good manufacturing practices. So Purina can take that and say, well, these are our good manufacturing practices. So AFCO kind of leaves it open. And that's kind of the point, to let these manufacturers do what they want. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty decent blog. I think it's a good blog anyway, because Purina is saying, look, this is how we interpret it, and so this is what we're doing. So they're being at least transparent about it. But I did want to include that because it was about all I could find online for some of these big pet food manufacturers and talking about holistic in general. And I wanted to kind of just put that out there to you guys. So I hope this was helpful. And I kind of hope more than anything, above and beyond anything else we talk about, one of the things that I'm just so passionate about asking people to consider is that, when we ask for natural, when we ask for holistic, when we are going back to the earth and saying, I am bringing myself or my pet back to you to help me get back into homeostasis, to be one with the earth again, and to use more holistic practices in our pet parenting and maybe managing disease, whatever it is we're doing. We have to get out of the mindset of a pill for every ill. We have to get out of the idea that, something hurts and we're going to take a pill and it's immediately going to feel better or very quickly going to feel better. Because when we are bringing the body back into homeostasis and we are trying to reconnect with how our body should naturally work with the earth, it takes time. And we just have to get out of that mindset, that pharmacological, just take something, this is going to be quick and easy mindset, because that's just not the way it is with natural stuff. Now, if we start proactively with natural stuff, then yeah, it can be great. But when we're already in a disease process, it can be kind of difficult and take time and take trial and error. But at the end, it is so, so worth it. And then again, we can use things integratively as needed to help us get through things that are really, really tough. So if you have questions about that, if you're dealing with something with your pet and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore, or maybe you're not there, and that would be amazing, and you just want to start being more proactive naturally, reach out to me, because I absolutely still do one-on-one consultations. I am in the process of building a new website for all of that. So, you know, I'm going to absolutely update you when I have that new website ready. But in the meantime, you can still go to jessicalfisher.com. Check the show notes. It's all there. And again, I want to say thank you to Legacy Biome for being a partner for this podcast. And thank you guys so much for being here. Until next week, give your pets some extra love from me. All right, pet parents, you already know that I talk all the time about needing to stop as much as we possibly can feeding our fur babies garbage. For lack of a better word, that's what we talk about here a lot. And again, doing the best we can, that is the message above any and everything else. The more we learn, the more we know we need to make some changes. And this episode is powered by Legacy Biome. This is no BS. And this is why I think you need Legacy Biome. So Legacy Biome offers premium. When I say premium, I mean premium FMT, fecal microbiota transplant capsules. These are products for your dog designed to restore and support a healthy gut microbiome. Yes, you heard me. Top tier microbiome therapy straight from nature's playbook. Gut health isn't optional. We talk about this all the time. It's not optional. It drives digestion, immune strength, allergy resistance, mood, and even chronic disease risk. So if your pet's gut is out of whack, their whole system is out of whack. If you've learned nothing from me thus far, I think you should know that. So Legacy Biome tells us that their donor animals live on a raw, organic diet in pristine, chemical-free environments, generations bred to preserve a rugged and unaltered microbiome. No antibiotics, no pesticides, no synthetic crap, ever. And they screen those donors with the strictest protocols in the industry. Kim's over here next to me, if you can hear her. So if you have a pet that is wrestling with chronic diarrhea, itchy skin, hair loss, allergies, rebounding from antibiotics, that's a thing too. Legacy Biome is your weapon. Heck, you can just use it proactively to build a bulletproof gut and immune health. So don't worry, vets handle this. FMT is administered rectally often through veterinarians' offices, but we don't always have access to that. So what's the next best thing? FMT capsules that are enteric coated that you can get delivered straight to your home from the most pristine donor dogs ever, from Dr. Margot Roman, as a matter of fact. So top integrative vets across North America swear by Legacy Biome. That's not hype. That's physician grade endorsements. If you're ready to stop the gut wreck and start the comeback with your dog, head to legacybiome.com. That is legacybiome.com, LEGACYBIOME.com. and get some for your pet. And by the way, let me know how it goes. You know me. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm here to talk to you all the time. I want to know. Let me know about it.
To try Legacy Biome for your dog, visit legacybiome.com and use code TPPR10. That's TPPR10 for 10% off.